when we take a look at tables, what is the first thing that we do? We draw our arrows. So I'm going to draw an arrow from here to here and from here to here. All right, then on this right side, what would I subtract? I would do 8 minus 5, and that gives me 3. On the left side, what would I subtract? I would do 1 minus 0, and that gives me 1. So my m is what side over what side? Right over left. So I would put what over what? 3 over 1, which gives me 3. For my b, how do I find b? It's across from x equals 0. Well, here's my x's, and then here's where it equals 0, so my b is 5. When it comes to writing my equation, I have y equals mx plus b. Well, right here, we just said that m was 3, so I'll put 3 in for m. And right here, we said that b was 5, so for b, I'll put 5. So I would have y equals 3x plus 5. All right, for the next one, when I see a table, what's the first thing I do? I draw my arrows. What would I subtract on the right side? I would do 10 minus 12. Well, we subtract these two numbers, and so I have 10 minus 12, which gives me 2. But then we keep the sign of the bigger number, so what's bigger, 10 or 12? 12 is, and that negative goes with the 12, so we'll put a negative 2. We had to go down 2 to get from 12 to 10. On the left side, what would I subtract? 2 minus 0. And I would have 2 minus 0, which gives me 2. So I would do right side over left side, which is negative 2 over 2. What's a negative divided by a positive? A negative. And then what's 2 divided by 2? 1. How do I find b? b is across from x equals 0. Well, so I go down my x's, and I find where x equals 0. X equals 0 right here. So my b will be 12. Remember, my equation is y equals mx plus b. So I would have y equals, m is negative 1, x plus my b, which is 12. I see a table right here. What's the first thing I do? I draw some arrows. I'm actually going to avoid these two rows with negatives right here, and I'm going to jump down here with 10 and 13 and 0 and 1. You can avoid negatives if you can. All right, I would subtract what here? 13 minus 10. 13 minus 10 gives me 3. And then what would I subtract here? 1 minus 0. And 1 minus 0 gives me 1. This is what side over what side? Right over left. So I would do 3 over 1, which gives me 3. How do we find b? b is across from where x equals 0. So I go down my x's, and then I find 0, and here's 0, so my b is 10. I have y equals mx plus b. So I would have y equals, my m is 3, and my b is 10. All right, for the next one, first step when you see a table is to do what? Draw those arrows. I do what on the right side? 27 minus 25. And 27 minus 25 gives us 2. On the left side, what would I subtract? 4 minus 0, which gives me 4. M is what side over what side? Right over left. On that right side, I have 2. On the left side, I have 4. Now, 2 and 4 can both be simplified. What can it be simplified by? 2. So I divide both by 2, and 2 divided by 2 gives me 1, and 4 divided by 2 gives me 2, so my m is 1/2. How do I find b? b is across from x equals 0. So I go down my x's until I find 0, and then I go over, and that would give me 25. So I would have 1/2 x plus 25. And then I have my last one, and this time we have a sideways table, so that'll change how we find m by just a little bit. My first step when I see a table is to do what? Draw my arrows. Well, I see all of these negatives all the way through right here, so I'm going to draw my arrows right here and right here. On the bottom, what would I subtract? 16 divided by 4. Or not divided by, 16 minus 4. And 16 minus 4 gives me 12. On the top, what would I subtract? 4 minus 2. And 4 minus 2 gives me 2. Now, for m this time, I will actually do bottom over top. The reason why is if you see this right here, this says y over x. On the bottom is y, and on the top is x. So that's why I would do that. My bottom is 12, and my top is 2. So I would do 12 divided by 2, which gives me 6. How do you find how do you find b? b is across from where x equals 0. So I would go across x. Well, here's my x this time. Here's where x equals 0, so my y is -8. So I would have y equals mx plus b. So I would have 6 here and -8 here. So I would have y equals 6x. And then instead of saying plus -8, I'm just going to say -8.